Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to Rassle Rock with Rick Connor.
What the F was that entire freaking promo about?
Mark Callbacher.
She's like the James Ellsworth of women.
And Corey Castle.
I look like Paul London and Brian Kendrick mixed.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Rassle Rock. Thank you very much for joining us. It is post-Royal Rumble, and it's all going through. Edge can't figure out what show he wants to be on. There's all kinds of stuff going on with NXT and AEW and all. It's all nuts. Hi, guys. How you all doing?
Hi. What's up, y'all? Hey, you know what? I almost forgot, Rick, what I got you for Christmas, and it's just been wrapped by the door. I've been trying to think I should drop it off and just leave it out front of your house. It's a pandemic, y'all. It's a crazy ass pandemic, y'all.
Dad, we're getting ready for the third snowstorm this week. In 3 weeks. 2 weeks.
They're calling for snow here every day until next Wednesday. So I don't know. There's a 50% chance every single day, and I'm like, wow, this is nuts. Come on, spring, let's go.
Let's also remember it's February. We're talking about
February.
Not getting each other's Christmas gifts still.
I love me some snow.
Well, unprecedented times.
It all sucks, man. I still got presents for both of you yet. I can't get them to you yet anyway because we can't be in the same room. So I don't know.
One day,
actually,
Rick.
Corey, I'm supposed to come over to your place and teach you how to play Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I need that help.
At some point. I gotta do that. Yeah. So eventually we'll exchange Christmas presents, but right now we got some wrestling to talk about. Not a whole lot going on this week, but after the Royal Rumble, we got two big returns to the WWE, at least on a part-time schedule. We have Carlito and Christian are back in the WWE. Super excited to see both of these guys. Christian, I heard the story was really cool. Edge found out on Friday before the Royal Rumble that Christian was coming back and immediately called him up and said, we have to ride to the show together. So that gave me a little warm, happy feeling. It's like, oh, they rode to this show together. It was like old times.
That was one of the best moments of the Rumble was when Christian's music hit and they just showed Edge laying on the mat. And he's smiling, but you can see him tearing up at the same time. It was pretty good, man. That was probably the coolest moment for me during the Rumble.
That was really nice, yeah.
Is he coming back part-time, or was it just that one shot?
From what I'm hearing is he's going to be there part-time. Nothing's official yet, but everybody's hoping for another Intercontinental title run from him.
Yeah. If there's a Mania match with him and Big E, that'd be real funski.
Yeah,
I'd like to see it.
A lot of people are hoping that they're gonna, because they didn't do much with Pat Patterson this year. He passed away last year, and the Royal Rumble was his baby. A lot of people were hoping that there was going to be some kind of tribute to him or whatever. But now I'm hearing that there might be an Intercontinental title tournament, like a number one contenders tournament. Christian wins that, man. You build that up. You got the prestige there. You're building that title back up. Pat Patterson's old. He was the first ever Intercontinental champion, and then you have a match for the Intercontinental title that actually means something at WrestleMania. It's a good idea. Who the hell knows if it's actually going to happen?
I don't know. I see more of Apollo turning on Big E and winning the belt, and then probably Big E versus Apollo at Mania. For the belt. I don't know if he wins the belt there or wins it before Mania, but it's one of those weird things. And then Sammy, of course, did not lose again. He was pulled out of the ring and didn't lose again. So he has that argument that he's not been beaten for the title still. So we'll see where that goes. Why is AJ Styles wrestling Jeff Hardy right now?
I'm watching it too. I'm like, it's cool, good to see it. But what's the build up to it? I didn't catch whatever the build up was.
I see it. That's the problem is because I'm streaming it and I have no closed captioning because I am acquiring Raw. So there's no there's no closed captioning on that stream. Maybe with Peacock, I can finally, once I get the Peacock network, I can finally watch Raw live from the actual app. I'm hoping.
Oh, that'd be neat. I mean, I kind of doubt that that's going to be the case, but that would be real neat if you could be able.
Well, the WWE network, because they have a deal with USA, they can't play it live because they want the numbers on the actual
on the network.
On the network
of USA.
But if it's Peacock network, they should be able to measure the hits. So they should be able to stream it live.
Well, like USA is owned by NBC, right? So they would allow it to just like kind of go perpendicular. I don't know. What would they be able to like simultaneously?
Yeah, you can simulcast.
Yeah, that would be neat. I'd be into it.
It would be cool. I don't know if they've ever done anything like that before. If they've ever shown a weekly show live on the app before, as it's airing. I don't think they've ever done that.
NXT. They were doing it with NXT, but it wasn't USA.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like it was on USA, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like they moved it to the network the next day or whatever like that. And I know it was on there before. I mean, like Main Event is on there now, every week, but it's not like a live show. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe I'm not making any sense. Maybe I'm just
I know they have a deal with USA that they can't show NXT till like 24 hours after it goes off the air.
Yeah. So it for sure will. You definitely made sense in what you were saying, Rick, because it's not like with NXT, it's not the same. It's not like unless it's like a takeover, but it's not also going live on TV. It's just going on the app or on the network on USA Network. Yeah. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah, man. So we'll see, man. We only got a couple more months of the WWE Network left, so we'll see what happens. But in more good news, we got some re-signings in WWE. Both Cesaro and Rey Mysterio have decided to stay on, and they're continuing their contracts. Rey Mysterio was signed for a short-term deal when he came back after his surgery. Now that his son is there full-time as well, then he's looking to stick around, and he was quoted in saying he'll quit wrestling when Father Time tells him to quit wrestling, which I thought was after the 6th knee surgery, but maybe that's just me. And Cesaro, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't know how that guy still wrestles with his knee surgery, so don't. Yeah. I honestly don't know how he can go through that all the time. It's like he gets like a knee surgery every 2 years. It's like I don't know how he can do it.
No, it's insane. The guy's been injured all up and down. Like it's very crazy. The guy still is out there taking really risky bumps for somebody his age. So I don't know. I don't know how much longer he's going to go. Cesaro re-signed. Thankfully, his contract was coming to an end, and it looked like there was some serious talks about him leaving and going somewhere else. But I'm very glad to say that he's still sticking around. We keep on hoping, man, that this will be the year. They're going to push him this year, So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
He's getting like a light push right now, but I don't see where it's going. Like he's beaten Daniel Bryan twice, and like he had a half decent showing in the Rumble and some, but I just don't know where to go. Wow, that was nasty. AJ just shot the party.
Wait, you never mind. Just wait a couple minutes till you see the steps thing.
Are you ahead of me?
Yeah, I'm a little ahead of you.
Oh God, we're doing a watch along. I didn't know we were doing a watch along. I don't even have the show on. Oh, no. I'm screwed.
He said, "I'm just experimenting with this to see if it works, so I can do it for like future shows. Like I can have it on my little Google Nest while I'm in my new section." So I don't have a reflection when I'm watching the show anymore.
Right.
I just can't entertain you guys with cooking pizza all night like I was during the Rumble.
What are you doing? I'm eating pizza.
But we also have some good news that Lars Sullivan was finally let go.
Yeah.
Jeez. I don't understand why it took this long. I really don't.
I don't know.
That guy seemed like he just seemed like it was an absolute problem with his mouth, and apparently his behavior around women was like gross. So like, I don't understand why this guy like still was there. So I'm glad WWE parted ways with him, you know, and hopefully that stigma on WWE can just go away. And Brock Lesnar's going to need a new training partner. That's all I know.
He put out like a statement saying like his anxiety was so bad during TV days, and I listened to like Jim Cornette talking about it. He's like, okay, so you're saying it's a problem that Undertaker said it. Undertaker said that this generation is too soft, and you're complaining that your anxiety was too bad and you were too triggered. You were trained and you were paid to train. All you had to do was perform for 15 minutes, and the anxiety was probably more along. This is all from me. This part's not from Cornette, but like, is the anxiety like you're so anxious that you're gonna like talk yourself into a big hole that you can't get yourself out of, like saying something that's gonna get you in trouble because you're such a problematic person, you just can't work on like being normal?
Well, that's another talk for another day, but he's just trying to do the victim role so he can try saving face with the fact that he was not a good person. Mm-hmm. So now he's just trying to put, I have anxiety. And it's like, no, you were not a good person. like the reason why you were let go. It wasn't because you had anxiety.
It's like nowadays, pro wrestlers, like current times, aren't touring, don't have to go on the road, don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Like pro wrestlers like, bro, some people sign up for the military and have to go hold guns and fight for their lives. Like, you're just a wrestler. That's it. It's so fun. You're exposing the business.
I love shooting guns. I have an issue.
Yeah, but like to say that like somebody has PTSD who had to like fight for their life or like kill or be killed. Like, you can say that you've got PTSD, but somebody who like got paid to be trained as a wrestler who probably wasn't a wrestling fan growing up and just stumbled upon it because you happen to be a big like jack dude and not like somebody who's got any kind of charisma or talent. Like, shut up. Shut right up.
I mean, what are you going to do? Like, I just thought it'd be funny because he's like, you know, it's another one of those weird things where he was in that ladder match that got 5 stars. He was in the in NXT for the North American Championship, and now you look at 2 years later, he's not even in the Federation.
But credibility of the star system is long gone. That doesn't matter at all.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
who gives that credit? Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like,
and I'm sorry, but coming from a dude who actually suffers from anxiety, you're going to tell me that, especially during the pandemic, being on Raw is giving you anxiety when you're in front of a live crowd falling off a ladder from 15 feet? Like,
yeah,
he's just playing.
I don't understand. I don't really get why it was okay in NXT, but as soon as he got to Raw, it was a problem. Like, maybe it was the bigger crowd, I get, but when there's not a crowd, like when there's literally 0 people in the crowd, that's when you have a problem. Like, I don't understand where the anxiety falls.
And that's what I'm saying. He wrestled a takeover, and takeovers are usually 2-3 times as big as being in the Performance Center down in Full Sail. Yeah, you're going to be at the Barclays Center, which is what, like 15,000, 20,000 people watching. Like, it's a big stadium, and he had no problems there. But then he goes to Raw, and he has it's just weird. I think he's just playing. I think he's just playing the victim to hide the fact that he was not a good person, and then he's going to use that victim role to try getting himself a job somewhere else. And it sucks. I hate people who used to like stuff like that to get through.
I think Dave Chappelle says that there's an epidemic of bitch assness, and I think that that certainly qualifies. I'm triggered, and like you're shut up. Just go wrestle. Just shut up. Like,
well,
not a fan.
Well, along with Lars Sullivan, apparently Steve Cuttler was released from the WWE.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, not entirely sure what happened. They were just like, "We got nothing for you. See you later." So
there was some rumor that words went around that they don't like. I think it tied in with the Bobby Lashley thing. Bobby talking about how there's a lot of people complaining in the locker room. I think there was a rumor. I think he was hinting towards him.
Yeah. Well, I think that it was more towards Miro or Rusev or whatever, because Bobby Lashley worked more closely with Rusev. And yeah, I think there was a bit of the bitch assness in Rusev too, in maybe Bobby Lashley's opinion.
Whatever. No offense, everybody's a bitch to Bobby Lashley.
Yeah. You could call Undertaker a bitch and probably get away with it.
And by the way, after watching the Rumble, I'd rather see Big E and Bobby Lashley just finally unify the U.S. title and the Intercontinental, unify it, and let those two wrestle. I would rather see that at Mania than anything.
Dude, that's a marquee matchup. Like,
when they started beating on each other, I was excited during the Rumble. I was like, this is what I want to see. I want to see two big guys that actually can wrestle. They're massive dudes. And great personalities on both of them. Both of them know their character. They would get a great storyline. I would love it. Speaking of Russo, did you guys see the wedding? No, you guys get to see that?
I didn't watch it.
I heard him talk about it on Jim Cornette, but I did not watch it. Nor it's like these are like low to mid carders who like are not stars. Like they're not somebody who came from anywhere. I didn't get why Miro was like the best man. Like they didn't know each other. They never been on any shows together. Why is this like? Why do they announce this? And like who's supposed to be the babyface? Who's supposed to be the heel? Why does this make sense? Why are the fans believing it? The fans are smart. Why do they care? Like, you're wasting a bunch of TV time on this, and this guy barely even wrestles on TV. I don't get it.
I kind of like, they went back with Orange. Orange Cassidy's going to be the main foil for them as the face. I know how much you feel about him, Rick. But the same thing is they did the same trope. They had like a president out there, and they thought someone was in the president. So Miro beat up the president. There was no one there. And then the one dude from the Best Friends like handcuffed or tied his leg to the rope so he couldn't do anything. And an Orange Cassidy popped out of the cake, and just did his thing where he just stood there and did nothing, and the crowd went nuts. I mean, I get it. I actually like the gimmick, but it was just another bad wedding. It was just
are we supposed to suspend our disbelief so much to believe that someone handcuffed him to the ropes without him noticing it? Like, he's that stupid and unaware of his surroundings that like someone can just sneak handcuffs. Well, wait a minute, I'm handcuffed to something. Oh, man. Like, what is this, Roger Rabbit? Calm yourself.
It's still a fun show. I think AEW is a very fun show. I just think because, a lot of people are super anti-WWE, they try to make it better than it is. I mean, they have some elite guys in their pack and the Lucha Bros and the Bucks and Kenny and even Mox. But besides that, like a lot of these guys are not good, and they're not good at their like acting wise either. I mean, it's still a fun show. I enjoy it. I mean, but they have like a tag team tournament, but the entire inner circle gets to be 3 separate tag teams in there they just had a match like the week before or whatever to see who was the main tag team that was supposed to go in that match. But I guess when they were booking it, they realized they didn't have enough tag teams.
Dude, this company's not going to be around in 5 years. I don't see it happen. I mean, I want it to be. I absolutely want it to be. I want all my friends who work there to have a job, but like, I don't see them like holding on to this fan base. Like they're just catering to the smart marks and they're insulting them now. Like with their bad acting, they're insulting him. And I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I really want to be wrong. I really don't want to just be like a slant to the WWE because I don't always agree with what they're doing either. But like, this is not a way to build stars.
Oh, so that's what it was. They had a match to see who was going to go in the elimination. No, he's already in the Elimination Chamber. So I guess there's like an Elimination Chamber preview. They had to have AJ just beat Jeff Hardy clean in the ring.
WWE rule now. You have to beat AJ in order to advance in things. That's just.
I think that's how it should be every day.
Going back to AEW, man, I don't know, man. We were talking about Orange Cassidy. It's pretty much the same thing. Like they elevated him to the main event. He was in there with Jericho, and the guy can work. He was getting it done. But then after that feud was over, they just dropped him. Like he disappeared from the card altogether, and now he's popping out of a cake. It's like you're falling down. You're doing the same tropes that WWE is doing, and that's why people wanted to see you in the first place because you were doing something different. And now you're doing the same thing. Impact fell into that hole when they first started, when they were TNA. They just started acquiring talent like Hogan and Sting and Flair, and it was great for a little while. They had Kurt Angle versus Jeff Hardy. Like, that stuff was cool, but it just got old and the booking sucked and people stopped watching it. And now they're only relevant today because they're starting to integrate people from AEW and they're crossing paths. And
Impact and New Japan. Like their big pop on this week was the Hideo Itami / Kenta showed up. But like, that's neat. That's neat. But it's like, what about your roster? What about your stars that you're trying to? This is like, what? It seems to me it's great if Kenta is a part of AEW, cool. If Kenta was like independently, like if they're doing crossover with New Japan and they don't have a Hideo Itami, like what the heck is wrong with you? Like, why you should be signing these people and having them be representatives of AEW and not a crossover. But they're just trying to chum it up so they're not like tampering. But they are tampering when it comes to like MLW contracts and like Brian Pillman Jr. and whoever else. And it's not a way to build brand solidarity or build stars. It doesn't. I haven't built brands. I haven't built a brand in wrestling or built stars. So I'm not coming from a place of like I know better and I can do better. But I feel like what you were saying, Rick, is like it was supposed to be an alternative to the WWE. This just felt like a bunch of raw cheese, like recycled.
It did feel like the old thing we used to call TNA. It felt a lot like WWE light, but like I have to admit, Kenta showing up at the main event was really cool. But my whole problem is, like you said, like you said, Corey, they're trying to feed to the smart marks or like the hardcore fan base, and it's like they're doing this crossover thing, which is kind of cool. But the problem is, you're only a year old, not even right? Is like or 2 years old? 2 years old. You're only 2 years old. You're not fully there yet. Half your characters that you started with aren't even developed yet because you haven't gotten everybody on television enough to really have them all developed, like fleshed out. And now you're going to throw Impact in there. You're going to throw New Japan in there, and you're going to throw. It's like you're diluting the waters before you even had a chance to even like build your characters up. I mean, the hardcore fans are going to root for these guys like Mox.
Giving rubs to companies when you're not in a position to you haven't even given a rub to yourself yet. Like
right. AEW needs to start rubbing itself.
That's right. They need to rub itself.
Get on that, AEW. Rub yourself good and hard, and then we'll be back.
Like I said, I enjoy the product, but it's not what they said they were going to be.
Right. There's no sports-based statistic system at all.
Like Jericho, as much as I love him, he's just doing what Jericho does, just in a different medium. You know, he's still being loud and brash, and you know the character's different, but it's still Chris, and it's still basically what he would do in WWE anyway. Like, but now he has a faction. It's like there's a lot of things they're trying to say they're not WWE, but it's pretty much the same product. And now they're bringing in Shaq. They're bringing in like has-been ball players, like trying to tie into like a new fan base. Like, but the whole thing is like nobody knows who these guys are.
Right, but that's also taking TV time that you should be investing on building stars and giving it to somebody who's never had a televised match before, another person who's never had a televised match before, somebody who's not a star from wrestling. Like the only wrestler in the match is Cody. Everybody else is just a trainee. And like, what about your women's division? Why don't you put your women's champion in the match? Let Shaq Stardom rub off on them. Give them the rub.
What's I forgot her name. Oh, that's it. I just found out one of my old regulars is Penelope Ford's sister.
Oh, really?
Yeah, real sweet girl Monica used to come in my bar. Her sister's Penelope Ford. And then I didn't believe it. And then I saw Penelope in the ring during the wedding. And I was like, oh my God, she looks like a hotter version of Monica. Monica's adorable too. So it's nothing against Monica. She's actually very cute. But it's just like, I saw the like facial features. I was like, wow, they are sisters. It's like weird. Yeah, it's just
we have all these connections that we can't do anything with. Just we just have all these connections. We can bring on Penelope Ford's sister. We can talk to her. Penelope Ford.
All she gotta do is tell you how mean of a bartender I am. Mark's so mean. One positive though, I have to admit, and I'm excited. I'm not sure where we go now. Is Edge teasing all three shows, like who's he going to go after? I kind of got really amped to see. I would prefer to see him against Finn Balor. I think
that's not a WrestleMania match, though. That's not a WrestleMania main event. Like the whole point of winning the Royal Rumble is to become the main event of WrestleMania. They're not going to put the NXT Championship as the main event of WrestleMania.
That's either the first hour main event or the second hour main event. They're not gonna make it the main event. But what's it called? Roman Reigns was so good in that shoot when he was trying to be all calm, and then he just started screaming into the microphone. Why won't you? Like it's like, and then he goes right back to trying to be calm again. It was so good. And honestly, you can't lose. Whoever Edge picks, it's a win. Like literally all three champions right now, they actually all mesh with Edge very well. So you're looking at a really good match, no matter who he goes up against. All three of those styles fit him very well.
Very much. I'm hoping it's not McIntyre, only because it's the least out of the three I want to see. It would still be a great match, but out of the three of those, it's the one that I don't want to see, the most or whatever. The promo that Edge cut on NXT was gold. Like that was great. It's just like I've never had that. That he keeps on pointing to the belt on Finn Balor's shoulder. It's like that is very intriguing to me, and I'm like, that just kind of made that title feel even better, like even bigger than it already was, which was really cool.
I liked it too, man. I liked when he was like when he said to Pete Dunne, he's like, yeah, you remind me of when I was young. And then he's like, yeah, I drugged you, you little jerk. Like,
but the cool thing is you're looking at the alternative. Edge doesn't wrestle him. I mean, if TakeOver the night before Mania is Pete Dunne versus Finn Balor, I don't think anything on Mania is going to even match that at all. Those guys are going to. That match is going to go like 90 miles an hour for like 25 minutes.
Well, we're getting that this weekend.
Is it this weekend?
That's the takeover that's happening Sunday. Yeah, Vengeance Day.
Never mind.
Takeover Vengeance Day. It's called Vengeance Day. I don't know why, but yeah, it's we'll get back to that in a second. Well, right before we wrap up and move on to that card, I do want to say I hope that it's Edge versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I just think that that's a win-win for everybody, because if Edge wins the title there, that's a beautiful like Cinderella story. He came back from from injury, from the career, and he was retired because of the injury, and he worked his way up, and he got the title again, and it's a beautiful story. But if Roman Reigns wins, that makes him a monster that crushed a man that tried to fight back and tried to fight back against injury. It's like that builds Roman Reigns up so much. Like, who is going to stop Roman Reigns if he beats Edge?
Even more than his victory over Undertaker at WrestleMania. Even more than this is my yard now. This is even more solid heel. Like, he's like, oh yeah, you thought you were gonna get an inspirational, uplifting Cinderella story, but really he doesn't deserve it. I earned the table. I earned my spot at the head of the table, and I ain't giving it up for some.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's what was so great about his shoot in the beginning of the night. He's like, why are you even on these other shows? He's like, I'm the main event. He's like, you're supposed to wrestle me. Like, if you want to be the main event of WrestleMania, you're supposed to pick me. And it was really well done. And then him basically later on getting an Edge face telling him to acknowledge him. And like I said, now you got this possibility of Apollo Crews joining Roman Reigns' little crew. Like, now you might have Edge versus Roman Reigns, but now he's got 3 guys outside the ring, including Heyman, like out there messing with him while Ed, messing with Edge while he's trying to win. It could build a lot of like really fun drama. And remember, it is a live crowd. Finally,
in the same arena that the Super Bowl was in. Are they going to have a bunch of cardboard cutouts like they did at the Super Bowl? Like filling up spots?
Am I the only one that I keep on hearing how great that was? Am I the only one that thought that looked really bad?
I didn't see it. I just saw it in some people's pictures.
It wasn't really that noticeable from a distance.
No, from a distance, it was looking all right.
When I was bartending, you couldn't tell.
Couldn't tell the difference.
No.
All right, maybe they'll do it like that, because I keep on seeing pictures of it, and it just looks like a couple will be sitting in the middle of all these card cutouts, like we're not supposed to be able to tell. It's like when they used to have like the old cardboard cutouts at the Phillies, like Veteran Stadium. It's like, here's Mike Schmidt, get your picture with him, $5, and then you get the Polaroid, and it's like you can clearly tell this is a cardboard cutout. I'm not fooling any of my friends.
$5. This looks fake. $5.
It'd be kind of cool if they did have like, instead of like cardboard cutouts, if they had sections that were just like Thunderdome seats, like in case like some people wanted to get tickets to WrestleMania but still were kind of feeling unsafe about showing up. They had sections that were just Thunderdome seats, like a Thunderdome section.
It would be cool.
Yeah, it'd be neat. Like just for some kids. Like maybe some parents feel unsafe about having their kids being at WrestleMania. That it would be fine. Or anybody with compromised immune systems.
Well, I mean, just anybody that wants to go to WrestleMania that can't make the trip due to everything that's going on right now. That'd be really cool, because usually WrestleMania is people from all over the world coming in, and setting up, getting hotels and doing like the entire weekend of every Fan Fest and all that other stuff, and not being able to do that kind of sucks. Like, there's people that do that every single year, as like a point of thing. It's like, oh, WrestleMania is coming up. Where is it? Oh, okay, we're flying there for WrestleMania. And it would be pretty cool if they did like a thing, because they didn't get to do it last year. Yes, last year was just empty arena. So it would be kind of cool, to set up a Thunderdome thing for people that can't be there, because they're only letting like I think 30,000 people in. for the arena.
That's it.
What's that?
How many?
I said, that's it.
I don't know. It seats a bunch, I think.
Yeah,
Like
it's a big ass building.
It's a big ass building. So I don't know. But enough about that. Let's move on to the. We have the card for Vengeance Day, NXT Takeover Vengeance Day. Why didn't they just call this St. Valentine's Day Massacre? What's happening? Corey, what happened? What are you doing? Are you still there?
Yeah, I was trying to put my picture of Eddie Valentine up on the screen, but it didn't happen.
It's 65,900 fit there.
Be right back.
5,000. All right.
So you're thinking with the extra seating because it's just a ring. Well, they do all that big ramp and everything. It would be probably about like right around 66,000. So if they're doing 30, they're doing just under half in the whole stadium. Yeah. So I think they can spread them out pretty well.
It's still a decent crowd, right?
Yeah. And by the way, if you don't want to take your kid to WrestleMania because you're scared, take me. Your kid does not.
Your kid has done nothing.
He's triggered. He's triggered.
Your kid doesn't even pay attention to his freaking classes on computers or whatever they do now. They're doing Zoom classes and don't even like show up or put pictures of themselves in front of the screen. And
oh man! All right, let's get to the NXT Takeover card. The not St. Valentine's Day Massacre Part 2.
Vengeance Day.
Vengeance Day, yes. We have both finals or whatever of the Dusty Rhodes Classics for the men's and women's. That's going to be happening this Sunday. The men's match is the Grizzled Young Vets versus Legado del Fantasma. I still have a problem saying that. Versus MSK. Triple threat match for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Trophy or whatever. And then the other triple threat match for the females version is Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell versus Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. I think both of these are going to be awesome.
Is it triple match or who wins this week? I think that's what it is. So
maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was a triple threat.
So it's Del Fantasma is in.
Yeah.
And then it's Thatcher and Ciampa versus who was the MS? No, I'm sorry, it's Del Fantasma versus
I see.
MSK this week. They're wrestling this week, and whoever wins that goes against the unlikely tag team that they do every year at the Dusty Rhodes Classic. That's getting really tiresome.
It was weird how they had the setup here because I'm looking at like the brackets, so I just thought it was all three of them. It was very, very wrong. So I apologize for that. Yeah, so it'll be the winner of those matches there. So we the Grizzled Young Vets or Champion Thatcher versus Phantasma or MSK in a singles match. All right, my bad. And then the other women's match will be Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, who are already in, versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell or Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. I think I'm looking at the Spanish version of Wikipedia. So it's not very clear, but I think we got it here. We do have another triple
Spanish a little bit.
I was gonna say I think the girls is a little obvious. I think Ember Moon, her tag team's going to win and then go against Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. I'm actually hoping Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez win. I think this would be a good stepping stone for Raquel, who's really in the last 6 months been really fun to watch in NXT. Except for a match with Rhea Ripley. That match was scary. So scary. It was so dangerous.
Yeah, she's been doing pretty well this entire past year. And Dakota Kai, I think, has improved greatly since she turned heel. Like, what was it, 2 years ago? If you're bringing anybody up to the main roster, or if you're elevating them on NXT, yeah, I think it should be those two.
It's time. It's time.
Dakota looks so small. I didn't realize how tiny Dakota was until the Rumble. I did not realize she's that much smaller than the other female wrestlers. She probably took the sickest bump getting thrown out of the ring out of everybody. Mm-hmm. She just folded up on the apron. It was kind of scary.
Little gross, but that's not the only women's match we got. We do have an actual triple threat match, if I'm reading Spanish properly. Io Shirai versus Mercedes Martinez versus Toni Storm, triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship. Who comes away with this one? I think Tony. You think so? Didn't she have it already? I think it's time for Mercedes, man.
She had the NXT UK Women's title. She didn't have the NXT Women's title. I mean, that would kind of be cool. I could see it happening. Her getting that title, but I think her or Mercedes would be soup's cool.
I don't think Mercedes. I don't think Mercedes is getting it. I just see Star written all over Toni Storm, and I think they're going to start pushing that now with giving her the belt. I mean, for some reason she was just like Rhea Ripley. It looked like she was going to be pushed to the moon, and then all of a sudden it just stopped out of nowhere. So maybe this is like that time they're going to finally start pushing Toni. I really think she's, like I said, she's got Star written all over her. Her gimmick's a little cheesy, but
I've been a Toni Storm fan ever since the Mae Young Classic. I think she's very, very talented, so it'd be very interesting to see what she does. Another match we got is finally we're getting Johnny Gargano versus Kushida for the North American Championship. I can't wait for this. This is going to be amazing.
Match of the night. If they give them 20 minutes, it'll be insane. At least 20 minutes. It'll be match of the night.
Yeah. Very happy that Kushida is finally where Kushida needs to be and not dumped in a trash can like they were doing a couple years ago. I'm really looking forward to this. And of course we got Pete Dunne versus Finn Balor for the NXT Championship.
I'm looking forward to the most. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is absolutely going to be insane. We got a stacked card here, man.
Those last two matches make it sound like the takeovers of old, like the level of quality of these matches is going to be. I didn't know the Balor match was there too. So now I'm super excited for this. I thought a lot of it was just a conclusion of the Dusty Rhodes tournaments, which I don't know. I can give or take every year. Some of them are amazing. Like individual matches during the tournament are great, but usually the main events, because they're just getting ready to do a swerve anyway.
Yeah, man, that's the entire card. 5 matches in all. I'll probably be doing a live stream if anybody wants to hop on with me. If anybody wants to watch, I'll be here cranking another live stream out of
cranking it out.
Cranking one out. Excuse me, AEW. You rub one out over. I'll be cranking one out over here. You rub yourself nice and hard. I'll be cranking them out over here. Don't worry.
AEW needs to rub one out.
Go ahead and rub one out, AEW.
Oh, give yourself the rub,
or whatever that phrase is. All right, man. I think it's about that time. We've come to it. We come to it each and every week. Shine a spotlight on one person that absolutely deserves it because they shine brighter than everybody else this week, and we do it with a segment called Who Wins Wrestling? Who wins wrestling? Blah, 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 blah. Mark, what do you got this week?
Damn it. Christian. I'm going with Christian. I know Edge is a bigger profile, but I was always a bigger fan of Christian than I was Edge. I don't know why. I was always a big Captain Charisma guy.
If you close your eyes,
but all his work with Jericho, all his stuff. I just always enjoy Christian, and see him come back when I never thought that was going to be a thing, and he quietly walked away from wrestling and never even got his goodbye that he should have. I thought it was really special. and I just wish it was live because I think that house would have came unglued,
popped like nuts. Yeah,
I mean, Carlito would have got a pop, but Christian coming out with Edge already in the ring, and that scene where Edge and Christian were beat up, leaning on the ropes, and Seth was trying to convince Braun Strowman to go after him. That place would have just been rumbling during that moment, and it's just sad that we didn't get to see it. But it's still awesome that Christian's back. So hopefully he does wrestle. I haven't heard anything if he's on any show yet. If he's on any of them.
I don't know if they got a plan for him or what, but I'm hoping they do. I'm hoping they show us pretty soon. Like I said, part-time schedule is what I'm hearing. So if they keep on bringing it back, once a month, once every 3 weeks or something like that, that'd be pretty cool. I'd be down for that.
Honestly, I would keep him off on television until Mania. And when Edge wrestles Roman Reigns and everybody starts getting involved, I would have Christian come out during Mania and eliminate Uso and anybody else out of the equation so the match can keep going. That would be huge. But we'll see.
See what happens, man. Corey Castle, what do you got? Who wins wrestling?
Damian Priest. Getting the be on Royal Rumble and being now on Raw, being in the main roster, getting the mainstream. I hate to say it again, rub from this Bad Bunny guy. I mean, I don't know anything about this Bad Bunny guy, but I know that he's popular in the music industry, and especially the fact that they're he's inside of representation mattering. So the Latino culture, it's really cool to see him representing that culture, and the fact that Kane gave him the big nod in an interview, and Edge gave him a big this is the next guy. They compared his shaking hands with Edge as Undertaker shaking hands with John Cena. It just is solidifying that this guy's gonna be as big a deal as we expect him to be.
Yeah.
So Damian Priest is winner for me.
Right. I would agree with you, except it's WWE, and who the hell knows? Because we thought the same thing about Aleister Black not too long ago, and nobody even knows where he is right now. So I hope it's a different story. I hope Damian Priest, can go, because the guy's really good. I remember from the Indies, from the Monster Factory, he was in DCW a couple times. The guy's really good, and he tore it up in NXT, and I hope he tears it up on the main roster. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. My Who Wins Wrestling, I have to go with the natural Butch Reed, because he passed away this past weekend. And it's a shame you don't hear a lot about Butch Reed, man. I don't think he's even in the Hall of Fame or anything, but he stuck around in WWE. Back then it was WWF. He was there for I think 3 years. What's that?
Let's see if he is in the Hall of Fame or not.
I'm not sure. He might be. He might have been in one of those that before they started televising it. He might have been in there. He definitely deserves to be. He was only in the WWF for 3 years, but he did so much. He was on WrestleMania 3. He beat Coco Beware. He was in the first ever Royal Rumble. He was in WrestleMania 4. He was one of the people that got beat by Randy Savage in that legendary tournament that Savage ended up winning. So he did make an appearance. According to Wikipedia, I don't remember this at all. Back in 2007, made a cameo appearance backstage on SmackDown during a segment that involved Theodore Long. I don't remember this at all. Does anybody else remember this?
Holla, 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 holla. No, I don't remember.
Yeah.
No, but if you're gonna mention Teddy and Butch Reed, you have to mention Doom, which I thought was one of the coolest tag teams ever when I was young. Just two giant jack dudes with black masks beating the hell out of everybody. And they went toe-to-toe with the Road Warriors. They were so cool to watch. Him and Ron Simmons were awesome together, and Teddy Long was their manager. He's not in the Hall of Fame. I can see him being inducted.
Possibly.
I think it's not Smoky Mountain, but at Mid-South maybe. I think he was big in Mid-South, if I'm right. I think that's when he was.
Yeah. Jim Crockett, NWA. That was pretty big. NWA Central States, Mid-South. He was in Mid-South, a couple places. They are talking about Doom with going against the Steiner brothers in WCW. It was apparently a pretty big matchup for a Halloween Havoc. So there's some Halloween Havoc trivia for you if you want to go back and watch that on the network while you got it. But that's about it, man. That's about all we got for this week. Does anybody have anything else before we wrap up here? Because we're wrapping up a little early.
Buy Doge, Cory. Make me rich. Buy Doge. Buy Dogecoin. Make me rich.
That's Mark's plugs for this week. Buy Dogecoin. Cory, what do you got, man? What's going on?
I just, like I said, I said to you, I just reached over 100 subscribers on YouTube. So now I can have a custom URL. Check out youtube.com/Cory Castle, all one word, CORYKASTLE. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Make sure that if you're listening to this show, if you're watching what we're doing, leave us some feedback. Let us know you exist. Comment below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to Rick's YouTube channel. Let us know you exist. Let us, if you love wrestling like we do, show us the love too. Because I mean, we're willing to give you a free lunch weekly, and we're happy to do it. And we love you. Tell everybody that you love them. Be fun, have safe, keep evolving.
Well, we're more than happy to give you a rub every week. We're going to rub you good and hard. We're not going to stop rubbing you until you finish listening to us. And yeah, man, I'm really excited about everything that's going on. We're going to be back this weekend, like I said, with an NXT takeover watch along, which is going to be really cool. Check out RassleRock.com for everything Rassle Rock, man. We got our old episodes on there. We got the old YouTube clips that you can watch the entire show if you wanted to. We have the merchandise store. Everything on there is connected to a charity, all available at RassleRock.com. And you know what? That's all I'm going to plug this week. So that'll be it for this episode of Rassle Rock. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Rick Connor.
Mark Hallacher.
Cory Castle.
And let's take it out like we always do with Mr. Nick Burke.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Join us again for another episode of Rassle Rock. This has been Jay Davis speaking.